Hello. As always, welcome back and thank you for joining me as we go through the workbook for students, the famous, or shall we say, and we could very easily say, so I will say, infamous, right, workbook for students. So before we delve into today's idea, lesson six in the workbook, a couple of words maybe about why this is deemed so infamous. There are many people, and perhaps you're among them, perhaps you've been among them in the past, who have every beautiful, good intention in the world, shall we say, what looks like and appears to be the world. They have every beautiful intention of doing this, and they get about six lessons in, or maybe 23, or something. And it's difficult for a number of people to shake what many people have told me to them is a weirdness factor about all of this. Yes, a weirdness factor, as in taking a look at these first few workbook ideas, and we're early on, this is lesson six today. You might well find yourself asking, what do these have to do with spirituality at all? What do they possibly have to do with healing at all? Huh? Well, and you would not be alone. And we have an issue as a parent, human beings with diligence and persistence, don't we? I mean, we do. We very well do, as we all know from myriad examples in our daily lives. I mean, it's a lot. We have trouble seeing things through. We have every intention in the world of doing so. Great, fantastic. But we then get started and stall and refuse to continue walking. Hmm. So we all know what we're talking about here. Now, if you have stopped and started on this workbook, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just something that you're experiencing. And that's all. If you wish to pick it back up and start again, do it. Do it. You may very well be glad that you did. It's an open invitation for all of us. And by the way, if you've done the workbook all the way through once or twice or more, fantastic. You may learn quite a bit from just a short video like this, and you may, in fact, I'm sure that you stand to learn even more if you're called to go back and do it all over again. If you're called to do it, of course. So that's part of the reason why this workbook seems to get a bad rap and deliver the course itself a bad rap. That and its central teaching, there is no world. Isn't that exciting? Yeah. You are invited to question the very foundations of everything you now believe. Everything. Don't stop at questioning the truth and veracity of this course, nor the image on your screen that appears to be delivering it. It is an image on your screen and does not warrant any of your rage at all. It's nothing. Nothing. Why destroy your peace of mind over nothing? Okay. We're perfectly at home in God where we've always been. The world is a complete illusion. Sure looks solid to us and appears to be rotating around this thing we call the sun and et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. All of us are perfectly at home in God as one, by the way, where we have always been. Lesson 6 builds on lesson 5. I know. Yeah, the logic of that. Yeah. You may still be wondering what this has to do with spirituality. Oh, everything, everything, everything. As always, you're invited to stick around. After all, we learn best from experience. We put these ideas into practice. Our experience shows us they are true. And that is something that you can't get just from watching a pixelated image on your screen. Experience it. Spirituality is all about experience. And this is a self study curriculum, which means self study, apply it, self application. Do it. We learn this course by doing it. And if you truly wish to learn it, that cannot be avoided, as you very well know. So, lesson 5 says, I'm never upset for the reasons that I think. Lesson 6 takes that a step further. I'm upset because I see something that is not there. Hmm. I'm upset because I see something that is not there. Let's backtrack one moment to the central idea of A Course in Miracles. There is no world. I'm upset because I see something that's not there. And as we did in lesson 5, we go forth and apply the idea as Jesus suggests that we do it. We name the specific form of upset and get specific. In other words, I'm angry at the government because I see something that is not there. I'm angry at the regime because I see something that is not there. I'm annoyed by my light bill because I see something that isn't there. I'm afraid of this disease because I see something that isn't there. Anything that upsets you is suitable, and as always, and as is a theme in A Course in Miracles, don't keep some forms of upset and let the others go. Let them all go. That may not feel like that's what we're doing in our daily lives, but this workbook is so disarmingly simple and well, you might think weird. I mean, very simplistic, yes. The simplest ideas are the ones we need the most, always at all times. They're the ones we're most apt to overlook in our chaos and confusion. That makes sense. I mean, it does. We don't have to agree with it. We can deny it all we want, but it makes sense. The simplest explanation is always the best. It's the truest. And that, yeah. So it's important that we do these exercises as suggested, and it's important that we apply this new thought system. But it's important that we apply the idea that, oh, okay, well, I'm tempted to keep this form of hatred against a fascist regime, for example, because of X, Y, Z. But I'm upset because I see something that isn't there. This disease isn't there. This car wreck isn't there. This war isn't there. This pandemic isn't there. This genocide isn't there. This greenhouse gas isn't there. I'm upset because I see something that is not there. There is no world. What greenhouse gases? What fascist regime? I use that a lot as an example. Guess where I live right now? It's in the news. Yeah. Anything that upsets us will do. There is no world. So naturally, when we're upset at things, we're upset because we see something that isn't there. What government? What itchy knee? What light bill? That's kind of funny, isn't it? Light bill? Oh, yeah. What light bill? What are you talking about? Anything that is not wholly 100% and completely joyous will do and will do perfectly well for the purposes of this exercise. After all, each and every single upset is equally disturbing to our peace of mind. It's an upset. So it doesn't make any difference if it appears minor or major. They're all equally disturbing to our peace of mind. They are suitable for this exercise. So let's come back to the idea that we talked about a little bit here at the outset, this sort of popular tendency to see A Course in Miracles as weird, as woo-woo, whatever that even means. What does that even mean? I don't know. I've never known. I don't know. You? I haven't. As esoteric and bizarre and threatening. Ooh, yes. Let's go there. Threatening. To whom? The ego, this false sense of I, me, myself, and I, individuality, that is always threatened. It sees itself as separate, cut off, cast off, if you prefer, and separate from every other living thing, defining and defending its own personal territory. For example, define and defend. We must protect this house. What house? What ego? There is no separation of any kind. None. We are not separate from our brother. Our brother is us. Now, we appear to be 8 billion plus raving lunatics, screaming bodies. I mean, sometimes we're getting together and having a nice party or something, you know. Other times, we're at war. That's an outward appearance. And it isn't even outward. It's all a projection of our one mind. Now, what can be seen as deeply threatening is pointing to truth. These ideas, there is no world, can seem really threatening because what if you find yourself thinking, okay, everything I have adhered to is an illusion? You may, and people have, driven themselves nuts by saying, oh, it's a lie. Well, here's what we can do as a practical matter. Cultivate our relationship with our inner teacher, the Holy Spirit. Mm, yes, let it run the show. Mm-hmm. Do that. And allow yourself to be led. Threatening to the ego. Anything threatening or resistance that you may ever feel is the ego. Pushing back, screaming, sometimes trying to delude you or to persuade you with guile. And when that no longer works, it wants you dead. But it's not possible. What ego? There's no individuality. There's no separation of any kind. We're perfectly at home in God, where we have always been, never having left, and this mad delusion of having left and separated and made this world is just that, an illusion. As you begin to attenuate yourself to these ideas, as you begin to put them into practice, you may begin to see beyond all of the stuff. And if you have begun that process, you know exactly what we're talking about here. If you have not, you will. Question as to when is largely up to you. Could be right now. All we're asked to do with these ideas here in the workbook for students is apply them. Put them into practice. You don't have to believe them. Who cares if you don't believe them? I mean, I've said there is no world maybe a dozen times. 13, there is no world. And yeah, I mean, really, when we look at A Course in Miracles, no wonder that more people aren't actively practicing this. People are not always ready. However, you are welcome. I'm here to serve as a guide and to be of assistance to all of you in any way that I possibly can. That is a large part of the creation of these videos in the first place. So my hope is that you will ask questions if you have them. It's perfectly safe. They can be as wild as you like them to be, right? And I would invite you not to judge their appropriateness for this forum. Anything related to A Course in Miracles and spirituality in general is appropriate here. People often hesitate to ask questions because they feel that they should know. Well, you don't know what you don't know, as we say here on Wobbling Spinning Ball of Rock. So if you're curious about something in this course or in your spiritual path, please feel welcome to ask, because I do aim to be a resource for you and ideally, hopefully, inspire you to put some of these ideas into practice because you're closer to awakening than you think. You know it's true. I insist. You are. Doesn't feel like it maybe right now. If it doesn't, I get that. No problem. We all have those days where we just want to stop and put it down, for sure. Of course we do. Part of the path. Remember, it's always the ego that resists. The Holy Spirit offers no resistance because there's nothing to oppose. So please feel welcome to ask questions should you have them. And please go ahead and subscribe as well. Please do that. The prompt is this icon thing. It's red and white, and in the corner of your screen, click or hover over that. and you'll be invited to join us. So please go ahead and do that. Several videos appear each week, and it makes no difference whether you're going through the workbook for students or not. We just talked about the core principles of A Course in Miracles. Voila. Doesn't matter where you are. You don't even have to be a course student. You'll never be able to unhear that there is no world. Isn't that exciting? All right. Thank you for joining me.